Hey, this is Mad Hatter. Today we're here with a farm tutorial, and that is a sugarcane or bamboo farm. I'm going to focus on bamboo because bamboo is probably going to be extremely useful in 1.21, and that is coming out pretty soon. Anyway, let's jump into it. So, how does this farm work? You can see the minecart triggers all of the pistons and causes the bamboo to be harvested. Sometimes the bamboo glitches through the top, but the next minecart that comes around will just pick those up and they will not be lost. If you want more layers, you simply just build another layer. Your grass starts directly where your grass for the next layer would start here, and you would just drop the minecart down right here instead, just like we did on the first layer. So you just stack these up as you go. The minecarts will go around causing the items to be harvested and then go pick them up. Then they will fall down this chute, break in the lava, and then end up in this dropper without any items getting in that dropper. The next one that comes through will send that hopper minecart all the way back up and into this double chest. So you'll just have minecarts going around in a loop, and if you want to stop it, you put a lever here and turn the lever on, and that will prevent minecarts from being dispensed, and it will stop the farm. Now that you've seen how it works, let's get into the build. You're going to need a lot of random blocks. I will leave a Structura Lab Link in the description, and you can see the material lists there. I'm going to build one layer. This is a farm that can be expanded up as far as you want practically until you literally cannot keep up with the item rate. So this is just how we get started. So first we're going to start from a chunk border in by 2 blocks, so 1 on each direction, and we're going to just place a number of chests. This is your item output in 121. You can put auto crafters here. It is very straightforward to do that. I will probably have auto crafter tutorials up the wazoo once 121 is actually out. Anyway, if you're interested in those sort of things, do subscribe because I am super excited about the auto crafter. I have many designs prepared. I just want to make sure they're going to work once we get the actual block added to the game. And I am falling and failing a little bit. So we're going to just go 3 high on this set of double chests. You can go as high as you want. It doesn't matter. On the last rail, we're going to place glass, and we're going to place hoppers into that glass just for cleanliness reasons. I'm going to put an auto burner on this because I think every farm should have an automatic overflow burner, because if the items are overflowing, they're just causing lag. So that's just going to be in the form of lava here, and a button on top of the lava so it doesn't get turned into obsidian, and we're going to seal this in just like that. Now here, diagonal from this hopper, we need a block with a torch on it. Notice this is just barely in the chunk, and we're going to put a hopper facing that torch. And then we're really for reals going to seal it off this time and not fall in the lava. We're going to need another lava source here for our minecart breaker. Now we're going to need some rails, and these need to be curved, and you can curve it by doing that. Curve it towards the lava. Now cover up the lava so we don't turn it into obsidian. Come back here and place water in here. Seal this up a little bit more and place a water there. Next thing, it is easiest to access this right now. So we're going to place redstone there, redstone dust on top of that glass, another piece of glass, and redstone dust on top of that. Next, we're going to place over top of this flowing water, and you can block it up just like that. We're going to place a bucket of powdered snow just right there, and then a string right there, an observer, and a solid block out the back. This is our minecart breaker. This is what we're going to use to actually collect the items. It's faster than any unloader, and it is pretty straightforward to build. So we're going to place a solid block there, and then we're going to put in a floor. This floor is going to be every block of the chunk except for this corner. So let me get that filled in. Okay, this is filled in now. We're going to go about halfway, and this is going to annoy people, but there is an even center, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to annoy somebody. And we're going to put a row of powered blocks. This can be redstone blocks, or this can be levers from the bottom side. It does not matter. That is what you're looking for. Now we're going to get rails and powered rails out. We're going to go wiggle waggle back and forth. In this corner, we are going to have a bubble column. So we have to leave a corner there that does not have rails in it, and we will fix that later. Now just get your wiggle waggle on, and I will see you on the other side of this. Now, if you did it right, you should have one block in one corner and one block in the opposite corner. That is what would be correct. It should look like this. From the item start elevator, or the item breaker over here, it should look like that. Now, let's put in the grass block. Okay. I just put in the grass blocks, and what it should look like is this, covering every bit of rail except for this corner one. This corner one is where the minecart's going to fall through when we're doing collection. So now, next thing is we're going to put a row of glass to lock this all in, so that way we do not have any leaks or water issues or what have you, so that way we can actually not have to work on that spot ever again. Okay, now that we have a big grassy area, let's start building the harvesting mechanism. First thing, like I've said at the beginning, you're going to have a bubble column coming through the corner, so let's block that off so we don't have to fight it. One thing to be aware of is sticky blocks. This part of the farm, you're not going to be able to harvest because sticky blocks will not allow you to get in there. You'll see what I mean as when we get there, but this little corner is going to have to be terracotta or leaves or something similar. Let's start with the harvester. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the corner where we have our item dispenser, and we're going to put terracotta up 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to go back 1, 2, and we're going to put a sticky piston facing down. So you can do that from this angle. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and sticky piston. And this is going to be the pattern. 1, 2, 3, sticky piston. 1, 2, 3. This case, we don't have enough to go 3, so we're going to put our sticky piston right here. Just going to be 1 and a sticky piston. Future rows will be a little bit cleaner than that. So now we're going to put 2 blocks. You can seal these in as you're going. And we're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3 down. 1, 2, sticky. 1, 2, 3, sticky. 1, 2, 3, sticky. 1, 2, 3, sticky. And then 1. And I usually like to just finish this wall out as we're going and fill in the glass so that way it is all done. So then we're going to go 1, 2, and we could continue the pattern from this side, which would be 1 sticky piston, 1, 2, 3, sticky piston, 1, 2, 3, sticky piston, facing down. And let me get all of this in so you can see what it looks like. Oh, before I get too far, this has to be either terracotta or obsidian because leaves, you cannot put rails on top. Do not make that mistake of building this all out of leaves and then being angry at me during the next step. So this has to be a terracotta or a obsidian variant. Or anything you could put leaves on that do not attach to sticky pistons. Okay, this last row that we have, we're going to have to actually move that in by 1. It cannot be up against the glass wall that's going to be around the outside for a number of reasons, but just for now, you're going to have a 1 block gap here. If you want to continue out and make it 1 wider, you will have a small chance when you're unloading it that the minecart may become deleted, but it is only a small chance, so that's an up to you. If you want to make this a little bit wider just so it looks better, that is perfectly reasonable. Okay, now we can get on with the slime and honey blocks. The way this is going to go is you're going to start out with slime, 1, 2, 3, 4, honey, 1, 2, 3, 4, slime, 1, 2, 3, 4, honey, 1, 2. And then you're just going to repeat this pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll notice that it all lines up. Now, the next step is to fill in the ceiling with glass or any block that you could set rails on, really. These can be light blocks. If you're building sugarcane, that will be important. I am not going to place the light blocks in. You just need to make sure that you have some reasonable light level, but by using glass, you'll be able to see through in my design. You could figure out where you want your light blocks to go. I'd recommend just along the bottom row here, you could place light blocks and it will work out just fine. Okay, now you need to either use chains or end rods. And you gotta place them straight up and down on every glass block we just placed on the ceiling. This is kind of painful, but you need to use a vertical rod like this. And the fence gates and iron bars don't work as well as the chains or iron rods. The reason this one works better is because they push off the items from the bamboo a little bit better than other shaped blocks. And they have to be straight up and down, otherwise items will sit on top of them and you will have more loss. Okay, That's our chains in. Now we need to put in our bamboo. If you are doing sugarcane, you need to use a pattern for the sugarcane to make sure that the water is efficiently placed to get maximum rates. That pattern is actually in my Bedrock Technical Resource Pack if you have access to that. If you do not, then it is effectively an L-shaped move, but there is plenty of online sources that will show you how to do that. This is also one of the painful spots. It's just trying to figure out where you have and have not placed bamboo. It takes a little bit of work. Okay, now we can glass it all in and get a nice flat top on it. This corner is where we have the items being collected. In the exact opposite corner, we need to break out everything so the minecart can fall nicely. And then we're going to place a block for it to bounce off of here. And we're going to start putting in our rails. We're going to go about to the middle again. And we're going to put a row of redstone blocks only where the glass is. You cannot put it in the terracotta lines. It will cause issues. Also, I forgot to put the glass on this side. We'll go take care of that now. Now it's time for the rails. This time you're going to need 3 types of rails. You're going to need detector rails, normal rails, and powered rails. Let's start by just putting detector rails on top of every piston. And I'm also going to fill in the area where our bubble column will eventually be. So a detector rail on top of every piston to get you started. If you want to make your life easy, I recommend putting a detector rail every other. But it does cost a little bit more, but it makes your life easier while you're building. Okay, so your detector rails, if you want the easy route, is this way. Otherwise, now what you're going to do is you're going to put powered rails between each of the detector rails. If you decided to make your life cheaper, you now need to figure out which direction the minecart's going to go and put your active powered rail only where the minecart, only when the minecart will be traveling from the detector rail into the powered rail. Okay, now we're going to end up starting over here. So what we're going to do is just start bringing a row of powered rails, turn, and if you made your life easy, we just put in the powered rails like I showed you. Otherwise, it will be detector rail, powered rail, normal, normal, detector rail, powered rail, normal. It's just kind of a pain. So I like to put detector rails everywhere. Now, one thing is, on the second layers and the third layer, fourth layer, whatever, you're going to stay 1 block in from the wall because the wall is in the other chunk and we don't want to lose our minecarts. So just keep going, wiggle waggle on again, and we can finish this up. When you're done, the layer should look like that. Now let's put in our actual redstone bits. So we need to come up by 1 on where the bubble column will be. And depending on how many layers you put in, it's either going to go this way or that way. So it should be about the same circuit no matter which way you're going, but just so you know, it may be different if you put in slightly more layers. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to break this rail there, and we're going to put in a dispenser. Has to be a dispenser. And we're going to put a block behind it with a redstone dust. And then to make this redstone dust not a dot, you're going to put a button here. Okay, and now we're going to put a block there, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 away. And we're going to put a block on top of that redstone dust. And then we're going to put a comparator there, a block by that comparator's powering, redstone dust, a very basic hopper clock. And if you need, I do have a hopper clock calculator, although this one was tested empirically to figure out where we get the best rates rather than using my calculator, but it's still there if you need it for some other reasons. So we need a redstone block, and then the empirical testing says 27 items in this hopper clock to make it as efficient as it can be. We're going to put a hopper there, and then we're going to put a double chest on here. You might need more storage depending on how big and tall you make this, but for most farms, a double chest will do. We'll bring this ice over, and then we will seal it up with glass, and we will get on to building the Minecart Return system. Okay, now Minecart Return. So the minecarts are going to end up in this hopper. So we want an observer watching this torch, and we want a dropper, not a dispenser, a dropper. And then we want an item here. We're going to take Ice Road over. And if you don't like that these are kind of going to be blocked off, you can break these chests out and those hoppers out, and you can place your glass in like that. Okay. Now you do need to cover this up eventually. To start with, we're going to put in our water streams. So water in here, figure out where it stops, button, water down, and then we're going to put a button here. We're going to put soul sand there. And then we're going to finish glassing this up. And now we got to build our bubble column. You can make this bubble column solid water however you want, whether that's ice or kelp or what have you. In creative, it's just easiest with a bucket. I think in survival, it's easiest with ice. Now you're going to cap this off. And we are going to do the same thing we did down below and make the items flow all the way to the end. Now we have to fill this up, and then the farm will start running. So how does this farm work? You can see the minecart triggers all of the pistons and causes the bamboo to be harvested. Sometimes the bamboo glitches through to the top, but the next minecart that comes around will just pick those up and they will not be lost. If you want more layers, you simply just build another layer. Your grass starts directly where your grass for the next layer would start here, and you would just drop the minecart down right here instead, just like we did on the first layer. So you just stack these up as you go. The minecarts will go around causing the items to be harvested and then go pick them up. Then they will fall down this chute, break in the lava, and then end up in this dropper without any items getting in that dropper. The next one that comes through will send that hopper minecart all the way back up and into this double chest. So you'll just have minecarts going around in a loop, and if you want to stop it, you put a lever here and turn the lever on, and that will prevent minecarts from being dispensed, and it will stop the farm. Anyway, the rates on this are about 3,000 bamboo per hour per layer, and the more layers you have, the more rates you get. So this could be as much as you want. So it could feed your wood needs in 1.20 with an auto crafter, which if you want a bamboo auto crafter, I will be publishing a video on it. So to not miss that, you should subscribe and ring the notification bell. Anyway, this is Mad Hatter, and I'm out. Bye.